had a very nice question. And before we close, I first want to ask if anybody has any question that maybe for next Friday we can also address. And if you have a question now, then it would give chance for others to prepare for next Friday also. So, anybody has a question besides Sahajbhai's questions today that we can log in, and then maybe bring it up next Friday? Okay, so Angie Ben has mic. And who is going to log? You will log yourself? Okay. Maybe you can have also, but so backup. Yeah. Go ahead.
સજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય.
Break again. I'm telling him to back up also, not just that your computer will break again, but it's a good habit.
Well, I was just thinking, I think we're very lucky to have your company until all this time and, during this holiday season and everything. But it's very easy while you're here to say that, that you're here, we have nice vibrations, we have a nice satsang, sabha and all that. And, and I was just thinking that, okay, and then in a few weeks you'll be gone, and then we have a lot of work still to do for Samayo, and just, amongst ourselves. So it's easy to see the divinity while you are here, but how can we work on seeing that more in each other, to really feel that you're here and, and that you are present in all of us. Sajanan Swami Maharajini Jai.
It's for next Friday, not today. You come prepare, next Friday. Less than 3 months. The thing is, Poonam Ben, wherever I go, they say stay longer, what do I do? No, her question will be answered next week by so many good people. So you should be here next week, next Friday. Okay, anybody else has any question that we can add into our Friday questions? Huh? Uh-huh. Well, I have not read that book, but I think what I'm interpreting is, that Adam 1 is that it is kind of a selfish motive. And Adam 2 is a selfless motive. And selfless motive is always very sound and powerful, and it will be remembered by many, for a long time, That's the message, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. But it would come, Both would work together, because Adam 1 and Adam 2 must be twin brothers, Right? So, nobody has any more questions. Okay. But again, we really commend, Sahaj Bhai with two good questions, that he has brought. Yeah. And before we go to your question, or if we need more time, we'll do it next Friday also. But I heard or overheard, from your mom, that something is going on between mother and son, not father and son, right? So, are we going to break it, or we are going to keep holding on to that? What is that we can do so that both of you can again be normal, maybe, Well, let's do 1 minute prayer before you answer, so that this does not go on for long, because it's not healthy, I think, from the message from your mom, maybe, We'll do Dun for 1 minute, Sajanand Swami Maharaj Ni Jai. Samnarayan, 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 Samnarayan. Samnarayan, 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 Samnarayan. Samnarayan, 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 Samnarayan. Samnarayan, 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 Samnarayan. Samnarayan, 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 Samnarayan. Hey Maharaj, Hey Maharaj, Hey Maharaj Guna, माफ करजो, सर्वना देशकार सुधारजो, सर्वेने सुखिया सुखिया करजो, बड़ बुद्धि ने प्रेरणा આપજો. हे महाराज, हमारी भूल चूक થઈ હોય તો માફ કરજો. આપના ગમતામાં સહેજે સહેજે વર્તાવજો. સહજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય જય જય. So back to our Sahaj Bhai's good question today. And there are two ways to look to this question. One is the question from Sahaj Bhai and two answers from his level, from his perspective, And the other one is, like Sapan Bhai said, Adam 2 style, that we have to reply that question so that it helps everybody in general, So first, to specific, to Sahaj Bhai's inquiry, that the motivation is of two types, of two levels, One is the self-induced motivation, that you would get that motivation from yourself without outside, support or outside help, And like, Sapan Bhai was saying, that if you have a motivation that you want to get all A grades, and when it comes to getting all A grades, it's a big, hard work, It's not easy task, Because if we miss a little bit and we get from A to B, that goal is gone, And it's coming from somebody who has all A grades, Sapan Bhai is throughout all A student, in high school career, So it's not that he is just philosophically talking, but he is talking, from his own life, from his own experience, So that motivation, we have to find out that what motivated him on himself to get all A's, Or maybe was it somebody else's motivation? We have to find out, But if you motivate on yourself, that would be the right kind of motivation, Because when you motivate from yourself, that is a very powerful motivation, rather than somebody motivating you, Because this is coming from you, and if it is a very good motivation, then you are not a common soul, You are some special, extraordinary soul, Then and then this motivation would come, Look at Swaminarayan Bhagavan, At the age of 11, he left home. And he left home not just to wander in the jungles, and get lost, right? He had a special goal, Now, we can say he was Bhagavan, and that's exception, that we cannot be Bhagavan, But we have to learn from that, what I'm saying, that we can also self-motivate ourselves, And that self-motivation will make us stronger, will make us very confident, and will also make us happy within ourselves, The happiness is the bottom line, Because if you are not happy, then what motivation is good for, right? So those are the good virtues, that you will learn from the self-motivation, The other motivation is from the others, that somebody will want to motivate you, like your parents will want to motivate you, your mom or dad, and that is how it starts, when you are 4 or 5 years old, and now you are trying to become kind of independent, and parents are finding out that, oops, something is going not good, So now they will find a carrot, and say, okay, Sahaj, if you keep quiet, I'll give you this, Or if you do this, I'll buy you this, So those are the motivations that they found out, that is helping in your life, But what happens if they try to motivate you, and like our Rishi, he says, I don't care for Apple phone, iPhone, I don't care, right? And I remember, Amy, when she was young, we tried to motivate her, She had no interest, She says, I don't care, I don't want. Now what do we do? Right? But that is also a level of, detachment, from the things that you think that, or your mom would think that would motivate you, But now she finds out, that Sahaj does not have any interest, in iPhone or whatever, So what do I do now, right? Right? So, in that case, parents have to have something different thinking, or out of the box thinking, right? And that is a whole different topic, and chapter, that we don't want to, maybe spend time, we are getting close to the 10 o'clock time frame, But the second motivation that I'm saying, that if parents are motivating, then parents have to know that is this motivation going to elevate my child, or it is going to make kind of, hungry for those things and miss the motivation, Because, let's say, to have an Apple phone and to get A grades, which one is more important? A grade, right? But why parents are putting Apple phone as motivation for A grade? Huh? No, because Sahaj wants Apple phone as higher motivation than A grades, If Sahaj has more interest in Apple phone than in A grade, then and then this will work, right? That you will tell that, okay, I'll give you cell phone, but you have to get all A's, right? So, this thing is backward, in our real growth, Could there be a real reverse process, And the Sahaj would say, that Mom, I will get A grades, no matter what. And then Mom would say, okay, I will get you iPhone also, no matter what. No conditions, right? So now there is no carrot, no motivation, But I think human nature is such that it likes to work on motivations, All these big CEOs, what is their motivation, Money, right? Lee Iacocca, you may have heard about him. This Chrysler company many years ago was very famous, very powerful company, back in 70s. Then something happened and the other companies, General Motors and Ford took over, and made Chrysler really dump. And the shares of the Chrysler company went down to less than $1, It was like $90 share, came down to $1, And that company had no support, no finances, So then this guy, Lee Iacocca, saw something in that company, And he says that, okay, I will become the CEO and I will take only $1 a year salary. His salary was $1 a year, But he said, I'll have so many shares, And he had so many shares, And then he worked and turned around the company. And the company shares started moving up, And now he has all this rich, high price shares, So every CEO, also they have some motivation, to, work or to, raise themselves, So motivation is not a negative force, Motivation is a good force. But we have to be careful that motivation does not divert us, in the wrong direction, Because if your mom says, okay, you get all A's and I'll get you the iPhone. Now you got the iPhone and now you focus on iPhone and now get on from A to C, What did you do, Nothing, You are back to again, lack of interest, right? So your focus should be always the right thing, And right thing is, like Sapan Bhai is saying, you are all students, And until the age of 25 or so, your goal should be nothing but to study and get best grades, good grades. Now, another thing that you mentioned, after you talk about this basic question, that you had a desire to become an architect. But then you motivated yourself with a car, that this car is costing me so much. And in order to buy that car, how much money do I have to make? And would the architect way be enough for that money, So you put all those factors, In other words, now your motivation changed, Your motivation was not to become an architect, but to buy or to own that car, right? And again, if you analyze the interest in the car, think of that. Car is a vehicle which can take you from point A to point B. If you have $1 million car and if you have a $1,000 car, they would both do probably the same job, right? But if we divert our focus from point A to point B and focus on expensive car versus so-so car, then we have lost our focus. So, right now, what you have to think is not this expensive car, but a car which can take you from point A to point B. Because that is the purpose of car. And then when you have more money, then okay, you can buy expensive car. It would be just prestige. It would be just, your goal or whatever. But I can tell you, after you own that car, that interest will not stay too long. It will go away. Eventually. So it is not a permanent goal. And permanent goal is that if you are happy to be an architect, then don't compare that with money factor or anything. Just go with your inner interest, go with your inner zeal. But even I'll go one more step further than that. That if you want to decide to be an architect or somebody, rather than deciding from your own, now go to the spirituality. And pray first that I want to become an architect, but oh God, oh Maharaj, oh Gunatitanand Swami and Gunati Swarupo, whatever is best for me in my future, let it happen. Right? So that you are now with an open prayer, you are opening up the closed door, that you have decided that you want to become an architect. Now, I don't know, that this thought of having this car is diverting you from architect to somebody else is maybe a real divine plan, I don't know, because, maybe you want to be something else, I don't know, but I'm not saying one way or the other, but I'm saying pray and then decide, And Kakaji has said that master key never fails, That master key always works, That if you pray first and then make a goal, then even that goal is not good for you, it will change it and make it good for you, Or it will give you some signals that you will go to another goal and it would, elevate you. So keep the God factor first, Even if you want to buy expensive car, pray that, that if that car is good for me, let it happen, Otherwise, I'm not interested, So now we are going into a social goal or worldly goals to the spiritual goal, And in spiritual goal, like Bhavesh Bhai said, that we have been always talking here, the best and highest goal, which Gunatitanand Swami has said, to become Brahmrup. If we become Brahmrup, then we have the wishing stone in our hand, Then you want to become architect? Yes. You want to become doctor? Yes. You want to become president? Yes. You want to become Brahmrup? Yes. Because that is a very powerful wishing stone, So, I think we want to take this message today that let us first focus on God and then make the goals, And then work for those goals, and don't become idle, saying, okay, I talk to God now, I don't have to work hard. No. You have to work hard. Look at Kakaji, that he gave up his lucrative business to please Yogi Ji Maharaj to win Nandaji, in a remote Sabarkantha district, North Gujarat, with a confidence, that Nandaji will win, It's impossible task, And it happened. Nandaji became the winner, I still don't comprehend all that, that a millionaire working in a big company, on saying of his master, gives up everything and goes into the remote place where there are no toilets, There is no arrangement for the bathrooms, And not unhappy, from within, saying that, why Yogi Ji Maharaj gave me this, But with confidence that we are going to win. And a lot of challenges from Maharaja and all his people and all that we have read, right? So think of that, that what Kakaji saw in Yogiji Maharaj that changed or that kept him going that way, right? So that is what we should do as a good incentive, or a good, goal, I think we are getting close to the time, but if we want to, we can continue a little bit more. If anybody wants to bring the same topic, next Friday we will first address that, and then we'll go to NG Ben's question, and then if anybody has any question in the meantime, we will be happy to, talk and entertain, Saras beta, very good question, Okay. But I like the word Akshar was using. Ulterior motive. That's very nice word. Very nice. Okay, we have a cake or something. This is for happy birthday celebration. સવિતાબેન આવી ગયા છે ને? હાજી, તમને જમાડ્યા કે બાકી છે? ઘરે જમ્યા કે નહીં જમ્યા? સવિતાબેન જમીન આવ્યા? ઓકે, તમારું અમે જમ્યા, હા.